Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about something that can be, well, a little alarming, but is actually super common: skin tags. Specifically, when you find one on or near the nipple. We're going to break it all down: what they are, why they pop up, and really what you need to know about them.
Look, let's be real. Finding any kind of new growth on your skin can send your mind racing, right? And when it's in a sensitive area like the breast, yeah, that can be pretty scary. That feeling is totally normal, and it's exactly why we're digging into this today.
But here's the thing, and this is the good news. Most of the time what you're looking at is just a common, totally harmless little thing called a skin tag. The key, though, is knowing for sure what you're dealing with.
Okay, so let's get right into it. What exactly is a skin tag? Let's start with the basics.
All right, so the fancy medical name for these is acrocordons. I know it sounds a little intense, but it's really just a small, benign growth. And benign just means non-cancerous. You can basically think of it as a little pouch of skin holding some collagen fibers and blood vessels, and it hangs off your body by this tiny little stalk.
So what are you looking for? How do you spot one? Well, for starters, they're usually pretty small, like maybe 2 to 5 millimeters. But the biggest clue is how it feels and looks. They're softy, you can kind of wiggle them around, and they have that signature little stalk that connects them to the skin. Their surface might look a little wrinkly, and the color is usually either your skin tone or just a tad darker.
Okay, so that's the what. Now let's talk about the why. Why do these things even show up? You know, it's funny. There isn't just one single answer. It's more like a mix of things. At the top of the list, hormonal changes. That's a huge one. Right behind that is just plain old friction, from clothes rubbing against your skin. Then you've got genetics, which definitely plays a part. And sometimes it can be a little clue about other medical conditions going on.
And this is where it gets really interesting, because it connects to our overall health. Things like diabetes or PCOS, they can really up the chances of getting skin tags. So why is that? Well, with diabetes, for example, you often have higher levels of insulin, and that insulin can actually act like a growth factor, telling your skin cells to multiply a bit more than they should, and boom, you get a skin tag.
And yeah, back to hormones for a second, because this is a big one, especially for women. Think about it, the huge hormonal shifts during pregnancy or later on during menopause. That is prime time for skin tags to pop up. It's a totally normal, super common thing that happens during those big life changes.
Okay, this next part is super practical and really important. How can you be reasonably sure what you're seeing is a skin tag and not something else? Being able to tell the difference is a really powerful tool.
Let's do a little side-by-side comparison, skin tag versus a mole, because that's the most common mix-up. The number one thing with the skin tag, it hangs off the skin. It has that little stalk, and it's soft. A mole, on the other hand, is usually flat against the skin or just a little raised, it feels firmer, and it's often smooth and round. Just knowing that much is a massive help.
All right, let's get to what is probably the most important part of this whole conversation. Because even though skin tags are almost always harmless, you absolutely have to know when it's time to stop guessing and go see a doctor. Let's talk about the red flags.
First, let's just establish what's normal. A regular old skin tag shouldn't be painful. Sure, it might get irritated if it gets caught on your clothes, but it shouldn't just hurt on its own. No itching, no burning. And, critically, it should just stay the same. Same size, same color, day in and day out.
So this is the stuff you need to watch out for. If you see any of these things, it's time to make that call to your doctor. I'm talking about rapid growth, like it's getting bigger over just days or weeks. If it starts bleeding for no reason. If the color changes, especially to black, blue, or a weird red, or if it starts to feel hard and firm, those are not skin tag behaviors and you need to get that checked out, period.
And honestly, that brings us to the bottom line. Just because of where it is, any new growth in the breast area is worth getting checked out by a professional. It's all about ruling out other possibilities and just getting that definitive answer.
Okay, so let's say your doctor confirms it's just a skin tag. What now? What if you want it gone, or you want to try and stop more from showing up? Let's get into your options.
First things first, if you want it removed, please go to a doctor. Don't try any of those home remedies. The professional process is super straightforward. It starts with a consultation, and then they have a few ways to do it. They might numb the area and snip it off, they might freeze it off with liquid nitrogen, or they might use a little electric current to burn it off. All are quick, safe procedures.
Now, what about prevention? You can't change your genes, but there are a few things that can help. Keeping a healthy weight can reduce that friction we talked about. And this is a big one.
Wearing a supportive, well-fitted bra made from something breathable like cotton can make a world of difference. And of course, just doing regular self-exams helps you catch any new changes right away.
You know, at the end of the day, all of this is about feeling empowered. When you understand what's going on with your body, what's normal, what isn't, and what you can do about it, that just gives you the confidence to take charge of your own health. So if there's one number I want you to take away from all this, it's the number 1. That's it. It just takes one visit, one professional opinion, to get a real answer, to go from that feeling of what if to knowing for sure.
And that's really what I want to leave you with. Chances are it's nothing to worry about. But isn't your peace of mind worth it? Isn't it worth one quick visit to a doctor just to be 100% sure?